Hey everybody. So Bitcoin right now is down another 14% in 24 hours as I'm doing this video. And this video is going to be about Bitcoin or Ethereum. I usually stay away from the cryptos and don't get into it because I try to focus more on stocks, but we're going to cover 3 or 4 stocks as well. This is going to be a much shorter video than normal. We're just going to get right into the details of it. To start with, there's a lot of uncertainty going on right now with Bitcoin, and you really need to be careful here. I can't stress that enough, and it's one of the reasons why I felt compelled to do this. So let's just talk about what's going on here. Okay, let's get rid of all these indicators for a moment, and let's just look at price, and let's just forget what this even is. Okay, forget, just look at the chart for a moment. Okay, this is your base. All right, you should be able to see. You can even go back to here, really, right, and see how that is your base. Okay, so here's your range, and you can even go here, make it a tighter range if you want. Okay, so these are your levels where you've had some issues and you've tried to rally and you failed. Now, if you see what's happening here, this is really very simple. Right? This is an H. Okay, no matter how you want to slice it, this is an H. And what transpired this day is really very important. So let's get into this because you really need to understand this because this can get a lot worse. And I don't mean a little worse. I mean like a lot worse than people think it can. When you open this day, okay, we opened at the high of the day, okay? We've never gotten back to that high of the day. We tried twice and we failed, okay? You're falling right on this line. And this is when you had 800,000 people that were wiped out and roughly $9 billion worth of assets lost. Okay, so when you have these billionaires out there tweeting, oh, you don't really lose unless you sell. Well, if you're forced to sell, yeah, you do. If there's a run on one of these crypto houses, which could happen, and they don't have the assets, it's a real issue, and this could exacerbate. So I'm here to just tell you that you really need to be very careful with this. I think this can go a lot lower right now, and I don't think people fully understand why it's even going down. So it's not regulatory concerns which are out there. It's not tax concerns that are out there. It's simply people have stopped buying it. So I believe Square has slowed down or stopped. Tesla has come out and stopped. MicroStrategies is probably close to being underwater on some of his position. No institution is going to step up right now and put this on their balance sheet with what's going on. So, and the reason for that is because it's going to look reckless. Whether or not it is, whether or not this comes back or not, when you're down 50% in a month, you're not going to see institutions step up and buy this. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to want this on their balance sheets. Okay, they don't want to be hip. They want to make money. So what you're seeing here is you're just seeing massive selling. Now I just want to go through this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 days without a higher high. Okay, and you have people out there saying you only lose money if you sell. That's not true, that it looks oversold. If you know how to read a chart, this does not remotely look oversold. This looks like it's just beginning to break down off a base. So you need to be very, very careful here. I can't stress this enough. When these people got washed out here, and I don't know if they were all at Binance or not. I really don't have the answer to that. When everybody got washed out right here, 800,000 people, okay? We never closed below this line. If you close here on this bar, you're going to get another wave of margin selling. There's no doubt about it. I mean, people who are on margin through Binance, some of these people have 100-to-1 leverage, okay? If this can't get back over and close over this line before this bar closes, because this is traded as, it is marked as a future, so it is marked to market. So it will be marked at the end of the day when this closes, and it will trigger more selling. There will be forced liquidations. So you could see that happen tomorrow. Now, for those that are bulls on this, your goal is you need to get above the 36,000 before the close, or tomorrow you're going to have a wave of selling. There's just really no way around that. It's just going to happen. So keep that in mind. In regards to where is this going, and for price prediction, I mean, from this H coming down and this being the high of the H to here, on a simple measure, if you break this, this is your base area, and that's how you calculate price. So just based upon breaking down through the H, it's a 30% move. So a 30% move from there, and I'm just speaking technically. There we go. Let's shrink this down a little bit. Okay. And a 30% move down from that price would put us roughly here, would put you roughly around $20,000. Now, what's interesting about that is that's exactly where this level is, which is support. Okay. So that would be a 30% move for it to go to 20,000. That would still be a double from last year. So it's very realistic that something like that could happen to this. And you need to just be aware of that if you're going to be in this, that you're in for a ride. Obviously, you've already been in for a ride. And this is your weekly chart on what you're in right now if you're long this. Okay. You must hold this level. You must. If you break this level, you still have some chance of holding this. But if you break this, and just to put this in response to, you understand how little support is actually here on the weekly. Okay, so if this breaks here, this is where you're going to. And there's not a lot there. So just be aware of this. These long bars, this break last week of this base after being up here for a year is not what you want to see. Okay, and we need to see this hold. And if it doesn't hold, it's going to get worse, a lot worse. Pizza Day is not going to save it. Billionaires that own it at $17 are not going to save it. Okay, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get really ugly. So just be aware of that if you're in this. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I just think that people need to start looking at what's really going on here. So this is ETHE. This is actually the future. I'm just throwing this up here so people know what it is. And you could see what's happening here. Very similar pattern. We rallied, we broke out, we broke the base, we're forming an H. This is a very simple count. You take the top of the H to the low, and it tells you where your price prediction might go. And you use percentages, not points. So you have a 50% drop from here. Just on that H is 50% if you got back to here. Puts you right back around $700-800. And that's exactly where this line is. Oh, it's actually a little higher than that, isn't it? Hold on. There you are. So you're right around $800. So if you think that can't happen, you're wrong. It can happen. Okay. I've watched stocks 20 years ago go down 99%. I don't believe this time it's different. So you just need to be aware of what can truly happen here. And this can get, I can't stress this enough, a lot worse. It's why I'm taking time to actually do this video so people understand this instead of just listening to a lot of the rhetoric I'm seeing on social media about buying the dip. If this was anything else and you saw this on a chart, would you buy it? No. This is the weekly on Ethereum. Why would you buy this? Okay. And this thought that I'll just buy and I'll never sell, you still lost money. You're still down. So please just consider that. I do think this is going to get worse, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to run through 4 stocks very quickly that are related to this so people can have levels if they're in these positions. All 4 of these, in my opinion, are a short, and it depends on where they open tomorrow. And frankly, just disclosure, I am already short coin. I shorted it on Friday at the close. If you look at Mara here, you've been unable to rally at all. Okay, you're rolling here. The 21 and the 50-day are crossing. This is coming straight down. Okay, it's not even getting close to the 20-day anymore. You need to hold this 200-day. If you break the 200-day here, that's the last bastion for where the bulls are going to hold. Okay, that's going to get you to here, which takes you to about $14. And if that breaks, you're going back to here, which would take you to about $7, $5. So if you think this can't happen, the same people that were here that were buying it for $1, it can happen. It's happened before. And if you look at this stock, just for point of reference, okay, this is when it happened. This is where it went last time. $154 and went all the way down to 2 or 1 or 20 cents, it looks like at one point. So don't think that this can't happen to you. It can. So try not to be too gloomy, but you really need to know what you own here, and really be aware of this, because this type of drop and people are going, oh, well, how low can it go? I'll just keep buying the dips. I'm down 65% in a month, and this is setting up to break here and to roll. So just if you break that 200 day, just realize that, you're probably heading to that 14 level. And if you're fine with that, you're fine with it, but just at least understand the risk. As I stated, coin, I'm short. I'm going to use the hourly on this because it's easier to look at. And we're just going to get rid of these indicators because they're pointless. You opened here. It was cheered as like this great event. Meanwhile, institutions really didn't buy it. What you really had is some institutions like ARK taking small positions in it. But all the owners of the company sold to retail, and CNBC heralded it as a great investment. And now you've seen what happened. So from this level, you're at $400. You're now at $224. Okay. You have to look at what's going on here, right? And yes, you could trade this. Yes, you could buy it short term, trade it up. But if you really understand what's going on here, okay, this is setting up to roll again and to break. As I stated, I am short it, so I have a bias. What you're looking for here is 224. If you break this level, if you break that 208, you're going a lot lower. You're going to get into the high ones. And how am I there? How do I figure that out? And I'm just going to kind of just point you there. You should be able to see this little trading range right here. So by the time I come around here and I come back down, I can use this line to determine it. And we can pull this up a little bit. Put this right here. Let's go up here. And let's go to here. So that would put you roughly where? 170. So, I think that's really like your first level. If this breaks this 208, you're going to go to 170, 175, something like that. And so just be really careful if you're long this, because no one's going to open up a Bitcoin account or a crypto account so that they can lose 14% in a day. So the growth projections of this have changed dramatically on this company, and no one's really talking about it. There are concerns too about regulatory with what's happening with Binance. That the amount of leverage that's out there in Bitcoin right now on Binance is with some accounts at 100 to 1 leverage. You could see a run on it, and that could really affect Coinbase and the assets in Coinbase. In regards to Riot, if you're in this one, you're riding that 200 day. If you break that 200 day, I would seriously consider reevaluate what you're doing. Now you have a little bit of support here, and you have more support here at the $10 range. And obviously I'm not going to get into the fact that this could happen again, just like it happened 3 years ago, because we all know that, right? We remember these moves and how they happened, and it went from 46 to $1. So we understand that this time it went from 80. We understand that it can go back to $1, right? We all get that this time it's not different, that these things do go in boom bust cycles. And right now you're in a bust. So just keep that in mind, please. So SI, I'm going to go over one that actually will benefit from all this. So along that will benefit while I'm sitting here thinking about it. SI, look, you ran right to major resistance, rejected. You're above the 21 day. If you take out a lower low on this bar tomorrow morning, you need to get out of it, because all it's going to do is roll and follow what Bitcoin's doing. And this is going to take you back down to these levels. It's going to take you back to 82. And it's going to probably happen pretty fast on this one, because this is an extremely thin name. So it'd be nothing for this to get back to that 82 level. And, out of all the charts, frankly, this one actually does look the best. But what you want to see is just hold that low. If you don't hold that low, get out. And if you don't want to get out, when you see the 21 break, consider using that as a stop. And finally, I'm just going to point this out. A lot of these people that own the stock, this is one that I think you can actually buy and make money off of. While we're here, I might as well talk about it. So people are going to want to hedge themselves in commodities and assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum, any way that they can trade these, the puts, whatever. These people that have billions of dollars of this, if you think that they don't own puts against their position, you're wrong. They do. I'm sure they have advisors that are advising them correctly. Now, what this does is present an opportunity. It presents an opportunity because you're going to see increased order flow. And you're going to see that through commodities as well. But when that inflow starts or outflow starts, people are not going to be able to get in and out fast enough. They're going to have to use futures. Income CME group. And you can see how we broke out here, came back, tested support, and now we're setting up to run again. So I think that this can get back up to this, 234, 235 level from 217. So I think that that's something to look at. As always, please share this. Please get this out there. I really want people to understand, what I'm saying. I've been doing this over 20 years. I've seen cycles like this before. I've seen how they end. They don't end well. So please share this video. As always, subscribe because what we go over is very timely. Thank you. Enjoy your Sunday.